just to let you guys know that we are in season 2 of the podcast, and we are now accepting new sponsors. Any sponsors that want to reach out to us to collaborate and to get your business out there, please let us know. Reach us at the Student to Life Podcast at gmail.com, and also on Instagram at Student to Life Podcast. Okay. What's going on, everyone? We are back again for another episode of the Student to Life podcast, where learning and unlearning has no limits. I am your host, Chantal, and my co-host,
Stretch.
And we are so excited today, guys. We have a dope episode. We will be talking about lifestylers. Well, talking with lifestylers about the lifestyle. And remember, we are in the season of love and relationships and all that good stuff. So remember to like and subscribe and share this episode out and comment and chime into it. All right, so let's introduce you guys.
Ladies first.
I'm Tyra Rogers. I'm the wife.
Yes.
And I'm Mike from
the returning
Mike. Yes.
Yes. So now this is an interesting topic because, for one, not a lot of people know what lifestylers are. But before we get into that, we had Mike on the episode. He came on the Married Men episode, and
he spoke very highly.
Yes,
of
about Tyra. So we have the pleasure to have them both here today. So I first just want to know, how did you guys' love story start?
I already said it, so you got to say it again now. So they know I'm telling the truth.
Basically, we met on vacation. We were...
Perfect place to tell.
We were at a lifestyle event in Jamaica, and there were people from all over the U.S. I didn't know him before that. And we met, some friends introduced us, and we kind of traded. Back then it was Yahoo Messenger. We traded our Yahoo Messenger and phone numbers, but I was like, he lives out of town, I don't really know. But here we are, 15 years later. We got married a year later after we met. Yeah. And I guess that's the story.
I guess Mike is telling the truth.
Yeah, he was definitely telling the truth.
I remember it.
So I know you told me this brief story before, Tyra, but I didn't know that it was a lifestyler event that you guys were at. So first of all, let's talk about lifestyle. Can you tell us briefly?
I personally want the definition.
Stretch needs to know the definition of lifestylers.
Me, of course. Right?
I did all the talking last time.
So basically, the lifestyle is an over-encompassing description. There are different lifestyles or types or categories under that main umbrella. Okay. There are swingers, there are polyamorous people. I don't want to get into, there's some other stuff.
Fetish, BDSM.
But fetish, BDSM, but those are all lifestylers. They're just different aspects of alternative lifestyles. So that means that you're not having a regular monogamous, normal, husband and wife or partner and partner interaction.
Okay. So which one do you guys...
I was just going to ask, so which one are you guys on those categories?
We are swingers.
Okay.
So what that means is that he and I have sexual interactions with other people. Okay. With the knowledge of each other.
Okay. So, do you guys do you guys partake in the other categories? With the BDSM and all that stuff? Because I didn't even know BDSM was a part of being a lifestyler. I just thought it was
I'm literally learning today, so I'm going to ask a lot of questions.
So the thing about lifestyle is people use that loosely, and a lot of people don't really know what it means.
Right.
Okay. It's just a catch-all, but people use the word lifestyle to describe swinging, BDSM, but they don't break it down, so that's why people are always confused about what you're involved in, because there are different aspects. BDSM people are into, do I need to go into what BDSM is?
It's a little bit.
It's bondage, discipline, sadism, masochism. Okay. So those are people that they get tied up. Some people like pain. Some people like to give pain. That's what BDSM. Swinging is when you have sexual relationships with other people outside your main relationship.
So are there relationships or just like temporary
Well, swinging is just sexual interactions.
Okay.
But there's polyamory, which means you have relationships with more than one person.
Okay.
Meaning, like, if we had a girlfriend and
in the middle of everything.
right, and or a boyfriend or another couple,
Right.
and we're all together in that sense,
Okay.
that would be a polyamorous
They
relationship.
usually live together. They partake in the household together. That is a true form of polyamory.
So in this dynamic, right? I know you said you guys met at like a lifestylist event. So you guys already had that in mind that once you got together, that would be the dynamic that you would have once you got together.
So yeah, I was actually in it prior. Before meeting her, so I think maybe 6 or 7 years before meeting her, I was in it from a different aspect, but still. And so when we got together, it was more of a, okay, you know, we're married now, getting married, but we're still interested in doing this.
Right.
Hey, let's together. We did it apart, do it together, and it actually made things a lot easier.
So the conversation was had before you decided to like get married and
Yeah,
everything.
because we were already in it, so it made it a lot easier for the conversation to continue. And,
Right.
And it
I
just,
had previously been in a relationship, a swinging relationship.
Right.
And so when we met, I was a single person. He was a single person. We were still swingers. We were just singles.
Right.
And we had to figure out how we fit as a couple first with each other. Forget the lifestyle. It just kind of fits around our life. But we had to figure that out and then see, okay, how are we going to live together in the lifestyle and be swingers, and how is it going to fit in our life?
So I'm curious to know, how was it introduced prior to you guys meeting each other and being a part of the lifestyle before?
let me go first.
You can.
Like I said before, I was married before, and the relationship was not, good. Right. So I found an outlet, something that I can do that made me feel good.
Right.
I guess you'd say make you feel like a man. I mean, at that point. So that's how I got into it. I was introduced that way.
Okay.
So
I had an actual boyfriend who was very open. And, we were together for, almost a year, maybe even 8 months. And he wanted to know, like, what are your fantasies? And I was like, is this a setup? And I was very honest about, wanting to interact with another man. And he was like, okay. And I was like, what? And that's kind of how I was introduced. As I said, he was extremely open, which is not normal for black men that are part of the lifestyle. A lot of them are very territorial. They only want their partner to bring other women into the relationship. They don't want them to interact with other men, stuff like that.
Sure.
But he was a whole different kind of guy.
Okay.
He encouraged me to express whatever I wanted to express. So that's how I was introduced. So when we met, I was kind of ready for the relationship part. Like, hey, this is what we're going to do. He, of course, as he explained, was doing it kind of secretly. So he was used to being secret. So I had to help him understand that you don't have to be secret. We can do this together. I'm okay with you interacting with other women. Are you okay with me? And that's how we progressed.
So in a lot of cases, what happens is, I think sometimes when a person don't even know that they would like something like that, but being able to separate, take out the feeling out of it and be like, this is open. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're doing, and we both know we're honest about it. But does marriage make that easier to do?
No, I don't think so. I think it's all about the communication between the two people. We started early. We talk a lot.
Right.
In writing, we message a lot. We all day. Even now, it's the same.
Right.
And so we spend a lot of time getting to know each other outside of swinging. Just who you are, who I am, where we come from. Because the swinging is always fitting around your relationship.
Right.
It's like the dessert to your meal.
It's like an extra.
Right. And so I guess the people have to be comfortable enough and trust their partner in order to progress in it.
So, what are the pros and cons though? Because I know, like I've heard stories that a lot of times the person that is on the side or you're interacting with, they try to become more involved in outside of that. So what are the pros and cons, when it comes to doing something like this?
Well, and so I'll answer that in a little bit,
Right.
So most of the time, we find people who are like-minded like us,
Right.
and I think that's very important. And so if you don't, and you start dabbling in, like she said, secretively doing things, that gives the other person outside the thought that they may be more.
Okay.
And I think that could be one of the major cons, is that sometimes if you don't communicate to the person you're with, then a lot of times the person you're with or the person you're on the side with,
Right.
you don't get to, they start to get more thoughts behind it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think feelings I love my wife dearly, more than any woman in the world, and I never will love anybody else like that.
Right.
And it's, if I can deal it, I'm gonna die like that. But some women, from my perspective, some women get emotionally attached a little bit easier.
Right.
And so you have to communicate. No, that's not how this works.
Right.
I'm not leaving this.
What about for you?
And not just the women.
Yeah, that's what she did.
I also have experiences with women. Men and women both get emotionally attached to sex.
Okay.
And so I like to say that, I am the representative of our relationship.
Okay.
If I'm going to interact with a man or a woman. And the tone that I set is what needs to be followed. So I need to be clear that this is my relationship. This is not a relationship.
Right.
We might have sex every other week, but it's just sex.
Okay.
This is the only relationship I'm gonna have. Sometimes people think, it's just like with anything. Sometimes you might meet a man or a lady and you're like, oh, we're just dating, but they hear something else. And they see something else. And so you have to, they read more into your actions. So you always have to remain cognizant of how this other person is interacting, so that you can, tell them to pump their brakes.
Right.
Like, no, that was fun, but that's it.
Right,
Ain't messing up this.
So you guys don't only date other lifestylers. It's pretty much whoever you're attracted to.
No.
And that's when the problem starts. If you go outside of lifestylers or swingers, regular people, if I go to a bar and I meet someone, that's kind of like trying to pick someone up. That's almost like someone can think it's you're dating, or you're going to try to date them. They're going to look for another call. They're going to look for this when you're just, no, it's not that.
Now, don't misunderstand. There are people that say they are in the lifestyle, but they're really trying to date too.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's where the cons come from. Not being honest with yourself, and so it's hard to be honest with other people.
Exactly.
And so you represent, oh, I'm cool, I'm fun, I'm open, but you're really looking for a relationship. And then you have good sex with someone. And you think, oh, now we're going to be in a relationship.
That's it. Good. I want to keep that.
Even if that person is attached, and it's clear they're attached, and you might have met their spouse, and the spouse may have said, hey, it's cool, go ahead and do your thing. That person still, because they're not honest with themselves, they are going on a different route.
So they may be introduced to like something new, outside of their relationship, and they're like, oh, this is better, so I'm gonna try to hold on to this type of thing. And you got to be able to be like, nah. Restrain yourself a little bit. Just be honest and open and be
Just
like,
be honest. Yeah, that's it.
It's not gonna work because this over here is
way more strong. This is stronger than anything what we have is beyond sex. So, sex, you can get that anywhere.
Right.
But true love, true partnership, and true commitment and communication between two people, that's hard to find. And to have sex on top of that, that's better.
I think what I admire the most is you guys are open about it. It's not like a thing where like you're shy about it or you're scared to talk about it. So what about like, because I'm curious to know, what about like family? Like
Whoa. No. I mean,
no. When I say family, I mean do they know?
That's what she's talking about.
No. No, I mean my sister knows, but not like my granddaddy. My
mom,
sister knows.
Immediate family knows.
His sister knows.
Yeah.
So
Like the young ones, like
it's not like
Yeah.
It's all we do, right? So we have a part of our life that's private, and just like, you know, your family might not know you hit the strip club regularly. It's the same thing.
Right.
You
Yeah,
keep your
true.
private business private.
Right.
I like
You
that.
know, so at the end of the day, I mean, I hope, you know, his mama don't find out, but if she does, I'm gonna address it.
Right.
Yeah. So with you know, when you guys became married and now you guys are both married and you're into this, did the dynamic change anyway from like when you guys were single,
out.
to married?
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about communicating and then the swinging and in the lifestyle is that things are gonna change. Your feelings and not feelings, but your wants, desires, needs, fantasies, they change. So you have to be able to communicate to your partner and say, you know what, I want to try this. And if she asks me something, I'm like, I'm not into that. And she's gonna be like, you know, well, I wanna. I'm like, okay, well, hey, you found someone to do, go for it. You know, it's just you have to adapt. So yes, it has changed. It hasn't changed for the negative or positive. It's just an adaptation to our relationship on how we're dealing with lifestyle and swinging.
Okay. Well, so I know you guys must have like a list of rules that do's and don'ts. Because I would do this the do's and don'ts even for the other person. Like, hey, don't do that.
Well, okay. So,
This is the good part.
we started out with a long list of rules.
Okay.
Because as I said, we were finding how we fit as a couple in this lifestyle.
Right.
So at first we were only going to do X, Y, and Z, and you know we were only going to be in the same spot and blah blah blah. But we're two humans,
Right.
and our ability to communicate is the strength of our life partnership. That's what I call it. People call it marriage, but we're in a life partnership. And so we have to be able to debrief. Hey, that didn't work last night. What do you think about that? You know, like for instance, I'll be specific. Like at first we were like, when we're at a party, we're gonna play at the same time. If you find somebody, we're gonna go at the same time. Well, that doesn't really work. I'm a different person than he is. He might be ready. I might be like, I'm chilling. So we had to say, okay, are you gonna be okay with that? I'm okay with it. Are you going to be okay with that? And being able to debrief and move forward. Okay, this is the next level of what we're doing.
Right.
Okay, or we might hit a roadblock. Oh, I didn't like that last night. That didn't work, or whatever. And we have to be able to, you know, remove the feelings out of it and talk about, hey, is this what we want to do? Okay, well this. So we don't have a lot of rules because we don't need them.
Right.
We have a life partnership, and that's what's important. That's our foundation. And I don't need to tell him what not to do to affect our life partnership. I mean, not at this point.
Right.
You know, I trust him, he trusts me, and what we trust is that neither one of us is going to do something to affect our life partnership.
So I know you guys sometimes must sit back and laugh about your experiences or talk about your experiences. Right?
Have you guys? Can you guys tell like one crazy wild experience? Like
a
where you were just
bad
like,
or good.
You're just like, okay,
Maybe a bad one, a terrible one is like, this was terrible. Or a good one is like, oh, this was good.
Yeah, maybe like.
I got the bad memory, so I'm gonna let her.
You got a bad memory.
Don't do that. You don't want to say anything.
No, I don't remember. My bad memory. I'm old.
Yeah.
Lies. Okay, let's think of a bad experience. I might have to come back to that.
Well, I mean, when you say bad experience, it's like if someone, we won't be specific.
Yeah, no.
I want to
a scenario.
But
Yeah.
if the biggest thing that happens often is when you see a couple that may be interested in one person in the relationship, and they think it's going to be a, you know, off swap or whatever, but the man is not to her liking, but he is very persistent. Thinking of the van people. So.
The who people?
I don't know. There's something. Whatever.
Let's keep
He's not very appealing. He's, you know.
That's not my thing.
Not her thing.
I mean, if we're in this to have sex and enjoy the experience, then I'm gonna enjoy it with who I want.
Right.
And so.
Oh, you mean like if it's a couple and you don't like, okay.
Sometimes the couple, it's not a swap.
It's not an even swap.
It's like,
you know?
you like
The
her.
woman might be good, but the man might
But
be
it's
off.
not even that. I might not even
not
want
be
nothing
good.
with her either.
Right.
You probably just the energy just not there.
It's just.
That's what me. I'm
something.
definitely
I'm
big on
definitely.
energy, so it's not really about how you look. It's really how I feel.
How you come off.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, maybe.
This episode of the Student to Life podcast is sponsored by Vintage Florists and Events. For the Valentine's Day flowers, for your Mother's Day flowers, for your Christmas, your anniversary, whatever you need these flowers for, these teddy bears, whatever arrangements, you could hit up Vintage Florists and Events.
Yes.
The number to call to make orders, place orders, or for more info is 754-423-4673.
But the problem is sometimes the man or even the woman in the couple feel like they're entitled. Like, wait a minute, he was with her, well, what about you?
Yeah.
And that's a continually bad experience.
That happens
because
all the
I'm
time.
not really nice with my words sometimes. And so I try to, I try to make it clear that, I'm flattered by your interest, but I don't share the same thing.
Right.
Don't
So
come back
that,
and ask.
don't keep asking.
Don't push through, yeah.
I'm not playing the game. But sometimes there are women, you know how women are?
Yeah.
They be like, oh, no. They do the same thing in the swinging lifestyle.
Right.
No, I'm not interested. And then, that you keep persistent. So that's the thing. That's the negative is people try to force themselves in where they're not wanted.
Right.
Oh,
The good experience is when you meet a couple or another single person and they understand, they get it.
Yeah.
It's a good connection. They go their way. You may connect again. They go their way. It's good.
Yeah.
Everybody knows their place, I guess.
And we have friends. We have friends who actually are swingers also, and they're really good friends. They know our family, our son. They've been to our house. We've had lunch, dinner, vacation.
We've been on vacations together.
But it's not revolved around the lifestyle of swinging.
Like
It's
we might
revolved
have
around
interacted
friendship.
with them sexually, 10 years ago. But we don't anymore because, how many times can you do something?
Yeah.
So then,
See?
you develop, what else is there?
So we
So then we have a friendship, like I said. Some of them have gotten married, we were in their wedding, all kind of stuff like that. So it's not just about sex, but a lot of people on the outside think it is.
and it's not.
well, I'm one of those people.
Well, you won't be after the day.
But, so, do you guys ever experience like jealousy? I would say, like in any way, shape, or form. Like you might go somewhere and do something, and it's like, I didn't like that, or you're jealous about it, or have a fight about it, or something.
So coming from a man perspective, egos are big. So I know I see where your question is coming from, and I can tell you wholeheartedly is that one person. It's really hard for you to be everything that this person wants sexually. It's impossible. You can't be something you're not.
You're gonna miss out somewhere.
Right. So the lifestyle allows you to allow that partner to experience those things. And since we have that connection, so there has been time I'm like, man, she's been there for too long. What the hell's going on? That's where the ego and the jealousy comes in. And it's not her fault. It's my fault. And I won't say fault. It's my problem to deal with because if I don't say anything, first of all, it's wrong to interrupt. Just so you know.
That's one of the rules.
Unless something is going wrong, if I feel she's in trouble, then I'm coming in and someone's dying.
Right.
But, not really. But if she's enjoying herself and me sitting there pondering on it will be my fault.
Right.
So you have to understand that she's not doing it purposely to.
I think the main question is, does it happen? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people be acting like, because I heard people talk about it before, and it was like they don't care. Like what happens, but we're human beings.
Yeah,
at the end
we
of
are.
the day.
We are definitely.
My thing is a little bit different than his.
See?
I don't care if he's at an event and when you're having sex in an event, you call it playing.
Right.
You don't call it like I
Sex.
X that person.
Right.
Right. So if he's playing with 3 different women at the party, I don't care.
Right.
I'm enjoying the party the way I want to, and I definitely want him to enjoy it the way he wants to. My thing where I get a problem is, and it's his fault. Because he's a caretaker of me. He cooks everything at home. When we're out, he makes sure I'm good. He bring me drink. So where I get like, how long he been? Where he at? My drink is empty. I'm the most important lady.
Right.
Even if you want to hit that.
Right.
So that was an issue initially in our relationship.
Yeah, that was an issue.
But we didn't address it. We didn't have no fight at the party.
Yeah.
We just talked about it on the way home. I shared with him how it made me feel, and he understood. Like, you know what? You're right. Because at the end of the day, he don't just have to play with that lady at the party.
Right.
If you want to hook up with her outside, he's welcome to. So there's no rush. There's no need to neglect me to get that, because you can get that later.
Right.
So that was an area of jealousy for me. Like, wait a minute, that chick, it became more important to me? No. So we talked about that. He understood my position on that, and we don't have that issue.
So just to extend the jealousy topic more, right? Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's dive a little bit deeper. What about like during the act, right? So say I'm gonna give you guys a little scenario. So say you guys are in the act and it's a swinging thing, right? And you could physically see what's going on, right? Has there been any instances where you've gotten jealous in like this person was like, okay.
I have not. I mean, not that I can think of.
Okay.
Nah, man.
No?
I'm not really a watcher.
She's not
it's really my thing.
and
I want him to be enjoying himself, but I'm not a watcher. I'm a doer. So if I'm not really doing it, I'm
You're just not gonna be in the room.
I know she's
it's not really my thing. So I'll be outside.
But that's not to say it does not happen. We're just different.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. We're just different.
Where people think they're ready for X, and when they're actually seeing X,
it's like, nah.
they didn't know YZ was there too, and they're not good.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a lot of things about their communication and understanding about each other. Like, if you understand and you want, if you want your partner to enjoy themselves, then you should allow them to enjoy themselves, even if it's not what you would have done. As long as they're not, like I said, I trust him not to be, reckless out there, because if he does, it affects our life partnership. He don't want that, and neither do I.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we have an understanding. But there are lots of people, like I said, that think that this is like a Band-Aid. If they're having a problem, maybe we should do this thing.
It makes it worse.
We watch it on TV, it looked fun.
It makes it worse.
But they're not addressing the problem. Why they have a problem in the first place. They're just putting a Band-Aid on it. And
so basically, they're not putting the relationship first.
Correct.
They're using that as a Band-Aid to try to fix whatever problem they have. But instead of fixing the problem first, then go have that fun that you need to have.
It just makes it worse.
Yeah, it's just like even having a business. You fix everything in-house first before you bring that business out there to sell your product or whatever it is.
Exactly right.
So I get that. But so have you guys ever had like a poly relationship or even considered it?
nah, man.
Can't do it.
I just explained to you, I'm the most important lady.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not really like warm and fuzzy. I don't know if you can tell. But
You cool with us.
I mean, I'm not like, I can't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, I like friends.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends.
Right.
But ladies are really emotional. I don't even know how y'all guys do it. Like,
She tell me that all the time.
how do y'all do it? Sometimes he shares with me, like, I'm not policing his phone. If he talking to some crazy chick, he'd be like, honey, what is that? And I have to like translate, honey, what she really means is. Because a lot of women don't say what they mean or mean what they say. So I don't even want none of that in a relationship. I'm the only lady in my house.
Right.
He got enough to deal with me.
Yes.
If he had another girlfriend,
I couldn't do it.
I'm not coming up short. So
Hey,
at the end of the day, and I definitely don't want to manage any other person's feelings.
Right.
I just want this relationship right here, and I want to have a little fun.
Yeah.
Speaking from a man's perspective, somebody asked me, was like, would you do the poly thing? I'm like, at first it sounded fun at first, but then I thought about it, it was like,
To deal with those emotions.
you both are gonna see a period maybe at the same time.
If they wasn't at the same time, they're gonna become at the same time.
Exactly, and then
That's the funny thing. When they said polyamory to you, all you heard was you with two ladies.
Yes, that's it. I didn't hear nothing else.
I know, but polyamory is not just that. There are ladies that have two husbands.
Oh, see. See. No.
I know, but that is typically the black man.
But for me, I think if a person knows you, they know you're not going to be into that.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So that, if you ask me that question, you know I'm not going to be into that. So
But I just wanted the viewers to know that polyamory is
sure.
a whole.
It's a whole.
There are people that have a whole village.
Yeah.
Of
Kids.
that.
I think I saw a TV
in-
show. A show with that. They have a whole house where that's all they do in the house.
Well,
There's just so much energies and just.
Man, listen,
Yeah.
shoot.
I
But
couldn't
that's
do
the
it.
thing is it's difficult for me to manage a lot of people's feelings, energies, and I don't really want that.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with that too.
know, I couldn't.
Especially in the same house.
Right.
Are you crazy? No, we would go crazy in the house.
So you guys said that, one of the rules, well, not intentionally said it, but you did state that, you guys call it play, like the wording is specific wording. So is there any like other things like in the rule book of the lifestylers that people should know about that you
Like wording or anything like
Yeah.
that of the sort. Because she corrected me 100 times.
So
It's
he
not swingers, it's
kept
lifestyle.
calling you guys swingers. I'm like,
But we are.
But we are.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, no. But you said that it's under the umbrella of lifestyle.
Yes.
We chose one
Right.
underneath there.
But they chose that.
But because
I
we're
understand.
swingers.
But I said
but-
for the overall lifestylers, that's not the only thing.
Exactly.
Until today, I had no
But I
idea.
heard
Right.
that wasn't the only thing.
You
that
didn't
they
explain
did.
what they explained though. You explained that the swingers.
I
You didn't
explained that
the
that wasn't the
lifestylers.
only terminology. That's what I explained.
So for instance,
We go watch that.
there's terminology within the different types of lifestyles, right? So for swingers, for instance, when people want to know how do you swing, well, some people are full swap only, meaning you got to bring something to the table for my man and blah blah blah, and we're gonna swap. Then there are people that are called soft swapper. They don't really want to do any sex, but they'll kiss you and whatever, you
then
know.
stay with your partner.
Yeah, stay with your partner. But there might be a little kiss in, a
here,
little
right.
touch in, but that's it. Maybe a little oral. That's it.
Okay.
But then there is
The same room, separate room.
right, same room people that only will play in the same room so they can look at their spouse doing whatever.
Some people get off by looking at.
Sometimes
Exactly.
that works, sometimes it don't.
Right.
'Cause
But there's the list is so long. I
there's
mean,
a lot of different ways people interact sexually.
I mean, yeah.
And it's good to know. Like, for instance, do you play separate? There are couples that play separate, meaning, he could go home with Chantal or whatever, and you know what I mean? That's when they play separate. I'm trying to think of any other. There's that whole cuckold thing.
Don't.
What is it? Cuckold?
Don't do it.
I really want to know now.
No.
She called the name. You gotta talk about it.
In my mind, I was avoiding that. I was like, no, I hope she don't say that. I hope she don't
Please
say that.
say it.
No.
That's another type of interaction where the man wants his wife to have multiple experiences with people sexually, sometimes without protection.
Okay. So let me add to it before she heard the definition. So it's cuckold. CUCOLD. Cuckold. Cuckold.
CK.
Yeah, CK. Sorry. So it's when the husband is he's lesser than his wife. His wife is everything.
His wife is dominant.
Exactly, but it's not a dumb
Yeah, I know,
submissive
yeah.
relationship. But so she puts him down. He gets off on being put down about his manhood being lesser than others. Oh. So she enjoys doing things with the other person while he watches, and she berates him and calls him all kinds of names, and
And he gets off on that.
he gets off on that. That's a cuckold relationship.
Wow. That is interesting.
You look that up, you can probably see more than you ever want to
I
see.
was gonna say,
don't-
sometimes it goes deeper than that.
it goes a lot deeper. So understand that those are all part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Those are
It's so many different things. It's not one Like there's, the whole BDSM where there's subs and doms.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole bunch of different kind of subs. It's just too much.
I'm gonna go back and say that I am not going.
He's like, let me put that disclaimer
I would put
out
that
there.
disclaimer right now, just in case anybody.
Yeah, anybody got time.
Yeah, she ain't gonna do it anyway. She's like, I'm doing my own thing. I can't be doing this.
So I'm curious to know, does this keep the spark in your marriage? Because obviously for a regular monogamous marriage, and that's what I do like about, lifestylers, is that the openness of it. Because a lot of the times in a regular monogamous marriage or relationship, the couple, if the guy is yearning for someone else or the woman's yearning for somebody else, it's a secret thing. They go and cheat and they don't talk about it, and it messes up the whole marriage. And this seems like something that has probably been one of the glues to you guys' marriages, and the openness of it. So would you say that this does help to keep the spark going in your marriage?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's about to say the same. I was like,
I mean, we just have a regular marriage at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So for instance, we can play separately. Meaning he can go meet up with a young lady, have sex with her, whatever, and come home. Sometime he come home, I'm like, we gonna watch our show? And we watch our show. Like, it's not.
it just happened and it was
It's
gone.
just, I mean, I don't know. That
non-connected.
stuff fits around our regular relationship. And our regular relationship is paramount. I don't know. I don't know if it's spicing it or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, we might be like, yeah, so-and-so, how was that? But it's really like, are we finna watch our show? And then we watch our show.
Or we watch
It's like-
football, or
right.
it's
We
just-
don't
it's
really... I mean, it's just like
It's
it's just like you went to a
icing
new
on the cake.
restaurant and
Yeah.
you ate there and it was good and that's it.
I think in a lot of relationships or even marriage, I think a lot of times, we talked about this before, where if a lot of couples sometimes are just honest about what they want, sometimes even the other person might be into it and you don't even know it.
Never know it. Yeah.
So I think sometimes sneaking off to do things is just, you're just damaging the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
But
more.
even if that's so that's another area of the lifestyle. Kink. People have kinks. And understanding your partner's, your kink is what turns you on. That's what the definition is.
Right.
And sometimes it's not normal, regular stuff. It's not like, oh, she got a fat ass, or, oh, sorry.
No,
Go ahead. We PG this episode, by the way.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. So maybe it's not that. Maybe you're a foot dude and you really feet really
you
turn
always
you
find
on,
them. The guys
or
be like
whatever. Or maybe you like sneaking around and you like watching your wife,
Or golden shower.
or whatever. That's exactly a kink, right? So sometimes sneaking might be what your spouse likes.
Oh, it's like a role play.
Right.
I mean, it all falls under Kingz, right? The role play, all that.
But that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
understanding what your partner needs and being
helps out.
okay with their expression is sometimes part of
I
it.
think a lot of times the partners are scared to say it because you don't know what the other person.
Well, no one likes rejection, right? No one likes to be rejected.
Or be judged. Yeah.
And that happens, believe it or not, in the lifestyle, judgment is rampant.
Right.
People judge people all the time because they don't like what they think is good or normal. But we tend to don't do that.
Right.
It's like, hey, if that's what you like, if you like it, I love it.
In all honesty, the way I was raised, like judgment is their thing. Like,
Yes.
Because being more mature now and being able to understand that, hey, that's their lifestyle. I'm not judging nothing you do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But growing up, that's what it is. You get judged without a person even knowing what you got going on. Then they probably get introduced to the same thing that you're judging, and then they fall in love with it.
It exists because even our relationship, right? Some people judge it, they think differently. They think, because I'm more social than him. Right? So I might be at all kind of parties.
That's kind of hard to tell, though.
I probably never actually played with anybody, but I like the atmosphere. I like to dress up in theme, and I like to go to the parties.
I like bye.
He really don't like people like that. So he won't go. So sometimes people think, oh, well, your husband don't really love you. You all out here, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing anything, but they perceive that something must be wrong because why isn't he like attached to my hip at this party? And I try to explain to people that you could be on the same path but not walk the same step.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In your relationship.
I like that line.
And that's how we are. Like we're together, sometime he at a party, he texted me, girl, guess who's here, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And we go back and forth because we're friends. We're, you know what I mean? We're each other's friends. So we definitely are always communicating about whatever, but some people see it through their lens. how they do their relationship. Oh, I would never let my blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean anything's wrong because he's not afraid to.
I think that line can be applied to, I'm going to use that line, by the way. It could be applied to
it, right?
any relationship. We can be on the same path but not walk the same steps. I love that. I'm going to use that.
That is a learning.
I would have used that last time, but
I think a lot of people in relationships need to learn that.
Yeah.
And that's a part of individuality in relationships.
We talked about last time.
Because a lot of people are in relationships and their whole being revolves around that relationship.
It's dangerous.
There's no individuality. You don't have no friends. It's our friends.
Yeah.
You don't have no hobbies outside of this relationship. Everything we do together. So
That's dangerous.
you know, you're going to hang out with the guys. The girl is coming along, or you're hanging out with the girls. The guy is coming along.
Right.
There's no den in the house for the man to just, decompress.
Yeah.
You're literally attached by the hip 24/7.
I'm real cool, like he like to take me with all the places now because I'm real cool. But at the end of the day, I don't really want to be with him all the time with this stuff. Like, he's a gamer, I'm not.
Right.
So when he wants to get all into the gaming, I'm out. But I'm okay with him being a gamer.
Right.
I'm okay with him enjoying his piece the way he wants.
Because that's his thing.
Right.
And that's why she goes to parties. She's like, you want to go? I'm like, no. I'm thinking to myself, I can sit and play my game. Don't bother me. So it all works. That's why it's a partnership, and it just really is a cohesiveness that works good.
I think that's why a lot of people get into relationships, and when that relationship ends, their life ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
they have no
there's
idea.
Nothing outside of
You don't
that.
know who you are.
Exactly. You lose yourself
you lose
in that. And then when you get out of the relationship, it's like you're trying to find, who am I without this?
Right.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
And that damages a lot of people. So I love that line.
He's gonna feel it.
I'm gonna write a book on that.
I think that you guys' dynamic is so beautiful because a lot of the times, people try to find that in relationships, like
For sure.
that outlet. Like, how can we love each other and still be individuals and still be able to talk about these uncomfortable conversations or these taboo conversations and still be able to live a fulfilling life? And I think, like, just talking to you guys, it's pretty much, I have his back, he has my back.
It's like best friends.
Yeah, it's like a bet. Yeah, and it's
Us against everybody.
Yes.
That's
My
exactly.
family is us against everybody.
and that's so. And
It's like being in a relationship and you guys just have this dynamic where the love that's there's nothing to come in between that. Like the best friend part of it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
And I think even like being with somebody who you could, like, for instance, watch sports with, that's something that, believe it or not, guys love that. Or you're walking down the street and you see a girl and be like, oh, her ass is fat, and she don't get offended by some shit like
I
that.
send him photos. I be like,
honey. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
my partner
But sometimes it's not even that. Like, you're a man. You're always gonna be a man. That's never gonna change.
Never gonna change.
So you can always tell yourself, I'm not gonna look, but you're still appealing. Women are still appealing to you after the fact.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Human nature is
supersedes everything.
Everybody wants attention from other people, want to know they look good, want to feel good.
Right.
I think it's crazy for people to think that their partner is never gonna want anybody else or find anybody else attractive. That's just living in a crazy world,
Right.
because that's just not possible.
Right.
What I feel is that I'm not worried about some other woman taking my husband from me. Unless he want to go.
right.
And as long as I'm doing what I need to do in our relationship, then
You're secure.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't, and I can't police it out of him anyway. I can't be like following him, checking his phone.
Right.
What for?
I know we're coming towards the end of tax season, but we're still doing taxes right now. So go ahead and head over to Spectrum Tax Group on Instagram if you still need your taxes done. I know we got some late people, so go ahead and try to get your taxes done. We also got credit repair available, so you want to DM us to find out about that. Spectrum Tax Group is your place to be. All right? Thank you.
Yeah.
I just feel like people need to find people that's on the same page as them. That's the key thing, because you find somebody that's on the same page. Like I said, I could sit down and talk about sports with one of my friends, and if I come home and I'm like, I want to go to a Heat game. You get what I'm saying? And that's our date night.
Yeah.
Or I want to go to a football game, or we're talking about this. We're talking about whatever, like music, for instance. Like if you're into rock music, you find somebody that's into rock music. Now we're talking about these rock bands. I'm not into that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, there's somebody that's on the same page as you, some part of your life where you can share that experience with them.
Yeah.
You
But
know what
the
I'm
problem
saying?
is being able to self-actualize, right? You got to know who you are for you to communicate
With
that
that
to
other
that
person.
person.
Right.
And if you're not being honest with yourself, then you're not going to be able to show who you really are to that
Exactly.
person.
Right.
A lot of people get in relationships with their representative, and they keep trying to keep their representative, and the real person is hard to show up. And then when you show who you really are, because you can't be the representative forever,
Right.
and then your spouse or your partner's like, what? What
Right.
the hell?
going
That's
on
what
here?
you do?
Because I always say this, like, don't introduce me to something that you can't maintain.
Yeah.
Do not do that, because now I come and I meet that representative or that clerk at the front
Yeah.
desk,
Right.
and now that's the nicest person I ever met.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna always want that
That
nice
person.
person.
Right, right.
So if I don't get that 2 years, 3 years down the line, now the person that I fell in love with is
Yeah.
not there
Not there
anymore
anymore,
at all.
Yeah.
Because now you pretend like you like sports.
Right.
You go do some research, and it's like, oh, the ball goes into the bucket. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the person I'm looking
And then
Right,
2 years down the
right.
line, 2 years down the line,
Yeah.
it's like it's annoying to you now
Yeah.
because you don't even like
Like
sports.
the
for
words
real.
for real.
Still watching those games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you turn
Yeah.
that off? Can we
Yeah.
watch Lifetime movies?
Yeah.
No. So
It's so funny, Stretch, because I'm curious to know real quick before we go to the next question. With you hearing this, right? Now, let's say that in your relationship or whatever, whenever you get into one or whatever, if your person was to come to you with this openness, right? And mind you, this is a person that
No.
you love and you.
You didn't even get the question out.
no, absolutely not. There's no judgment.
You wouldn't-
That's important, though.
Yeah,
listen,
I just
and
wanted
knowing
to see.
exactly what it is you want, because
Yeah.
to me, that's a complete no.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And even if you know that you yourself is going to be a faithful man, right? Because even if, say, you do have the urges, not say you have for you yourself, you have the urge to like
Right.
want to deal with
Step
another
out,
woman.
right.
Would you go and tell her and talk to her about it?
Yeah, but I'm not stepping out. I'd rather just leave her. Because that's not what I
Okay.
signed up for.
That's fair.
You get what I'm saying?
That's
Because if you
definitely
sign up for that, that's something different. Because she might say, oh, go do your thing. But in the back of my head, even if she's not doing nothing, I'm still saying to myself, she probably doing something. You get what I'm saying? I get what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's going to give you the okay like that without having a plan of their own.
No, I agree.
Right, at least talking about it and, oh.
But that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So
well.
I don't want that to happen the other way, but I want to go do it. So I'd rather
yeah, okay.
just leave that relationship alone and just go
Gotcha.
do what I want.
So you wouldn't be able to do it both sides?
Nope.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
He was quick. Not
So would you guys say this is something that's forever, like being in the lifestyle?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, it's not everything we do. We go on family vacations.
already
we don't-
planned.
We just, it's like I said, it's a dessert to our regular meal. And sometimes we like this dessert, cheesecake, and sometimes we like carrot cake. And so it's not really like, oh, we have a plan, like a 5-year plan. We're gonna be doing this. No, we're just going
With the flow.
with our flow of our life, how we want to do it.
It's so funny because you say that and then you think about it, because we do it the way we do it, it probably will last a long time but I don't think it's from a lifestyle or swinger standpoint. I'm thinking of like me and her are partners, so I'm gonna be forever getting pictures from her saying she's at a party or she's at a concert. So right. So that's never gonna change. It's because we have built our relationship around things like that, being friends. So
Now you change up. You don't even know who that person is.
But if we change up, I'm pretty sure we both will change pretty much at the same time. It won't
Because of
be
the communication
something. Yeah,
aspect.
it's like, honey, you want to go here, or like we go on vacation and we don't. It may not be even a swinging vacation, but before you know it, you're looking like,
Yeah.
So it's all relative to how we are right now, and right now we're just happy where we at as friends.
Okay.
That's
Now,
part of it.
don't misunderstand that, like, we're like all happy-go-lucky. Like, we have arguments.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we had one earlier today.
Like any
Right.
relationship.
Right, like any relationship. But we just communicate about it just like we do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might leave the house and I done said, you know what, you're this and that, you didn't do this.
She usually curses, but
Whatever. But then when I get to work, we might be emailing about some house business,
Right.
and then it turned into we just emailing as friends. That's just how we've always been. Our communication has always been our foundation.
So this is kind of a little bit off topic, but how do you guys deal with, like, we talked about it while he was here, how you deal with disagreements in the household, basically. Mike, you can't answer. I want her to answer.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say.
you already gave us the answer.
Now you're gonna see where my answer came from.
Right, because at the end of the day, I don't see you guys as swingers at this point, because I could see the love. Like she talked about it before. Like, you guys have a great dynamic outside of all of that. Because I see you guys walk in and you talking and everything. This is not an act. Like, you guys really dance.
Yeah,
we're friends. It's really something to
we
see.
could have drove us separate cars, but then that'd make it look obvious.
I've been in weddings where the energy is not that.
Oh yeah, it's like, why
you get what I'm saying?
Married? Yeah.
So I really commend that.
Thank you,
But
thank you.
How do you guys deal with the disagreements? Because Mike already gave us his side of it.
The question was that you said was, y'all go to bed mad,
Met each other. Oh yeah.
I remember that question.
Very rarely. I'm telling you, we might have an argument, and then we sitting on the couch, and then maybe we watching football, we watching something, and before you know it, we're just talking already like friends again.
Yeah.
Because that's just how we
it
are.
is. Yeah.
So what if it's serious to the point where you have to come to a resolve?
We communicate in writing.
In writing?
Yes.
Oh, that's a little.
That's different.
Well, that's how we met. We were a long distance relationship at first. He lived in Minnesota, I lived in Florida, and so we would instant message all the time.
Okay.
Or email. When he's at work, we would email. We do that now.
To this day.
We email back and forth at work. We have, mine are in red, his are in green, and we just keep.
And not just one email, because it's like a chain.
Yeah, we have a whole chain.
A whole day.
And we could go from, like I said, our house business, the boy, that's what I refer to ourselves as.
Yeah.
The boy, what he's got going on. We might delve into some lifestyle stuff. Did you see so-and-so? I mean, we could talk all day.
Through email, not text message.
No, not text message.
No.
Because that's how they started.
No, I be messing
You can't
up.
Oh, when you're at work, they gotta
Yeah.
get
I be
discreet.
messing up.
Yeah.
I be like,
Email is better because you can put everything. But it's not good to email when we argue.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's not good.
Yeah. So
You know how words come across.
That's what I was gonna say to you.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, call me.
she's harsh.
I'm trying to. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, continuing to communicate just reminds us that we're close.
So you mentioned, your son, which is he's so dope. So this kind of trickles into the next question, because obviously there's other swingers, lifestyles, whatever, that have kids as well. I don't know if you guys had the conversation of when your son gets to a certain age, is that something you would openly talk to him about, or would you guys just wait?
Mike been already saying no before you even finish the
Would you
question.
guys just wait until he comes to you guys and just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Or does he just find out on his own?
If he experiences himself, that's on him.
I don't want to have any conversation.
She's not gonna listen.
I don't blame him.
She don't even want to talk to him about.
Because if I'm the son, I'm like, get out of my room.
I don't want to color his view of relationships in any way.
Let him experience it on his own.
I want him to come to his own understanding about relationships and whether he has an alternative one or not. I don't want to be the driving force there. And so we take great pains to keep our alternative lifestyle outside of our house.
That's fair. I like that.
I like that too.
Very much. Because if my parents walk in my room and say, I'm like, whoa. Get out. Close the door behind you. I don't want to hear I'll be like, la.
Like that, that. So we go to parties and
No.
he would pass out. He would pass out.
That's not going to happen. So, for somebody that's single in a relationship, or even considering the lifestyle thing, what is, between both of y'all, each person give me three advice that you would give to those people, 3 different things that you would tell them, do's and don'ts maybe, or just advice overall.
Can we go first?
No.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay, so since I always try to say it's really, I can only give it from a male's perspective. So trying to tell a woman how to do this in the lifestyle and swing is going to be impossible. So I'll leave that to this woman here.
Right.
So from a male perspective, I would say be honest. Be very hygienic. And don't set your expectations too high. And I don't mean that by choosing a person, but I mean expectations about the enjoyment you have from the lifestyle. So those are my 3 things.
Okay.
For me, I would say first, know yourself. Be careful. And don't be afraid to say no.
The know yourself part, I think, is the main part.
It is. It's very.
Yeah.
Because, like I was telling you, I think some people might get a taste of that, and they just keep getting an appetite for more and more and more,
Oh, it could be
and not being able to cut it off at any point.
But they should understand what it is.
Right.
And that's the part about knowing yourself. Like, why am I so into this or whatever? And you know, knowing yourself can cut out so many problems. And being honest, you know, with, okay, you know, I guess, for instance, like the people that, you know, are submissives. You know, if that's who you are, then be yourself.
Right.
I know that I'm not really, like, for instance, we're 2 different people at a lifestyle function. He's more active. I'm more chilling in the same spot all the time. So people see that and they're like, oh, is something wrong with her? Is your wife okay?
Yeah,
Why is she not doing anything? Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I sit, I chill, I observe. I'm not really into interacting with people I don't know well.
And you both
I know that's weird in the swinging lifestyle. But men are more willing to do that than women, or at least me. I'm really like, I don't know.
And I do
You
it
know.
because I'm actually surveying the area for any protection details I need to do
Yes.
for my wife. So
Right.
if we need to get up out of there, I know exactly where I need to be to get up out of there.
I like that.
So it's not about socializing and talking to everybody for me. It's more about socializing and scoping out the area if I'm not familiar with this. So, and I know where she's at. She's gonna always be in the same place. And if she's moved, I'm like, okay. I do my once around because I know all the spots. I know my once around. Oh, there she is. Okay, I'm gonna go with it.
Right.
So it's so yeah.
Man, I learned a lot today. I'm gonna tell you right now, because like I said, learning a lot about myself with not judging people based on what they believe in or what they decide to do. You know, I mean, a lot of things. I stay over there with that.
Yeah.
You know, but
And we respect that. That's,
yeah, but there's some things that I'm like, I want to hear the perspective on it, because hearing a different perspective makes you think of it differently, because you're human beings at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So, like I said, you guys, outside of everything, you guys are just
Dope.
good people by
Yes,
yourself.
yes.
You ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. Just y'all just because I don't want people to watch this and think that this is all that's about.
Yeah.
Because the love is actually
There. Yes.
Because a lot of people, like you said, they try to use the lifestyle thing to put a Band-Aid on whatever they got going on. But this is teaches people that this has to be the foundation.
Yeah.
Fix yourself, then the relationship, and then you go do whatever it is you want to do.
Yep.
And we thank you guys so much for coming on. You guys are
problem.
amazing.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Hey,
Again.
Mike, thank you for coming back.
I made it back.
The last episode with Chris was really good.
Really
Yeah, it was
good.
good. I really enjoyed that. But now you can see, after seeing me,
Where it's coming from.
Where it's coming
Yes.
from. It's no lies. It's no, shade. I'm not, hiding it from her.
Right.
She knows exactly where my mind is at. And I try to know exactly where her mind's at. And she
Don't
goes
be
crazy.
our lying to his mama. We sorry, mama.
She ain't gonna be looking at this. So.
You guys didn't see the questions, nothing, so they answered.
Yeah.
They're just authentic, real authentic.
That's why I said the same thing before. I don't want to see the question. I want to be able to answer from
honestly.
the heart.
Yes.
And from the mind. And
I love that.
And so she won't judge me.
Hey everyone, we are taking a quick break to let you know about Skyless Hair Studio located right here in Tamarack, Florida. So if you're in town and if you know anyone that need any hair services, we specialize in healthy hair care, extensions, cuts, colors, and pretty much everything except for braiding. So reach out to us, Skyless Hair Studios here in Tamarack, Florida. Yeah. So we're going to keep it pushing, guys, and we're going to get into Stretch's Corner. And today we're talking about the new laws in Florida pertaining to the gun license and all
So
that
in
stuff.
Florida, DeSantis, which is the governor, he signed a new bill that allows people to carry guns without a permit and a background check and all that stuff. So, man, listen. I always refer to where I'm from. I'm from a place where people are ignorant, you know, and you're giving ignorant people the permission to get away with crimes at this point. Because if my name is not registered to a weapon and I commit a crime, there's no way for you to trace that or track that.
True.
I mean, if they're, like I said, if they have some form of system, when you go buy it, it's registered to you, the serial numbers, everything is registered to you. I mean, that might work, but at this point, I don't think we need to be more lenient with gun laws, because there's so much killings going on. The USA is the central capital for mass murders in the world. Imagine the amount of wars that's going on in the world, and there's people here shooting up schools with kids. Why would you free up the gun laws more from seeing that? That's not going to help any situation. Because first of all, you're telling teachers to carry guns. You're just putting guns in more people's hands.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
The mind is such a sensitive thing, and you never know what people are going through or what they might want to do one day when, you know, like Jamaicans say, like we say, when your head just chip. You never know what would happen, and I think it's so scary, and it makes me not even want to live in Florida anymore. But
trust me, it's everywhere now.
I think we're the 26th, 27th state or so. Yeah, so what do you guys think about this? What's going on?
I think that we need to fear the power of the NRA.
Yes, they have money in hand and
because
everything.
systematically they have eradicated laws and changed the character of carrying guns just by the power of their money.
Right.
Every time there's I don't know if you guys know this statistic, but every time there is a mass shooting, the sale of guns
go up,
increases. So I'm not saying that the NRA is behind it, but I think that, you know, capitalism is what America lives on. And they're making so much money off the tragedy of gun violence. That's why
what I think is what I always say, and I've been saying this for a couple of years now. If we rally together, get our money to put our people into power, we have the power to do that. Just like we were the ones who put Obama in power. Black people, we put him in power. We put Biden in power.
Correct.
Because we rallied together to do that. Imagine if we get a young person with our interest, just like the NRA is putting money in these governors' pockets to change gun laws and stuff. We get our people, put them in place. We put money in their pockets so they have our agenda, at heart. So you can't go around that. That's what the Jewish people do. They get people to put into places for their interests.
Yeah.
They get judges, they get governors, they get, all these politicians and people in places of power to have their interest at heart.
Yeah.
That's what we need to start doing. So all of those laws that they're making, if we have somebody with our interest at heart, they have no choice but to listen to us. So Mike, what you think?
Yeah, every time I look at the idea of lobbyists behind, all the people being elected, that just tells you right there that the money is coming from NRA. Anybody who has a deep pockets can buy, basically buy somebody.
Money can buy you all of that.
So, like you said, if we're gonna gather people together and get our people together to try to, then that battle is even stronger now to help us there. But they've been doing it for hundreds of years.
But people don't understand the importance of what you just said.
Yeah.
So what I notice is when there's an election, people focus in on who's going to be president. They don't pay enough attention to the local election, because this is what affecting us.
Right.
DeSantis is making laws that affect us. Biden, he can make a broad sweep of some sort, But he's limited by the House and the Senate and who took the NRA money there.
Right.
But we could make a difference if our people cared more about our local elections.
I go back to Jamaica all the time, where it's like we complain about, oh, the politicians this and the politicians that, and I'm like, it's not their fault. It's your fault. Because y'all don't know policy. They speak a language that you don't know.
Exactly.
Go learn the language.
Exactly.
Then you know who to vote for and what to vote for. Because on every ballot, there's things on there that you can vote on and off.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's how we get certain bills passed. Now, what the politicians do to keep people trapped in that mindset is you dangle this fancy thing, you give them food and party and everything, and that's all they see. And while behind their backs, they're making these deals and taking all this money that's supposed to be allocated to schools, allocated to building the community up. You know what I'm saying? Like they're speaking a language that you don't understand at all. So instead of going to learn the language, now we just vote, oh, we're green or we're red for the rest of our lives. Not knowing the policies that they put into place that's killing the same people that vote for them.
Right.
So it's our fault why a lot of things happen. We just got to learn the language of politics, because we are the reason they are in power. They don't put themselves there.
They're public servants. They're public servants.
But our people don't believe that. A lot of people still to this day think their vote don't count until they don't vote.
Man, that's a false statement. That's what the system puts into place for you to think.
They should at least put this on why is this not on a ballot for us to vote for it though? Like, why is it just like
because the Constitution doesn't require it.
Right.
Wow.
And if the person you put into power in the Senate, in the House, in the the governors, they have the power to do that. So you vote them into power, you have to know what their agenda is. A lot of times we don't have no idea what their agendas are. We get swayed by what's popular, and that's how Trump got elected, because he's popular. Everybody knows who this man is. What's his bottom line? You don't know, but that's what everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So until we are able to speak that language, we're the reason laws are going to change. Simple as that.
Well, guys, pray for us and protect yourselves.
Right.
Bulletproof vest for everyone.
So we're going to do today's quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, the saddest summary of a life contains 3 descriptions: could have, might have, and should have.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. This is such a dope quote to me, because I live by a no regret type of lifestyle, you know, because that's the worst thing that you can have, you know. So I definitely agree with this quote.
There's so much definitions to this, because I was listening to, I listen to motivational quotes a lot, and one of the things he said is like, would you rather stay in the house, feed you, clothe you, and that you stay there for the rest of your life, or you go out, you make mistakes, you get heartbreaks, you get experiences? Which one do you rather? Just live an easy life, watch TV every day, get fed, everything is okay in the house, or go out and get these things happen to you? And I'm like, I'd rather go out and get all these experiences. Because you don't want to be 50, 60 years old.
You ain't live no more.
You ain't live at all. You ain't got no stories to tell these kids or grandkids. And they always say the richest place is the cemetery. That's where a lot of
dreams are.
They live. So I think people should be excited to go make mistakes. That's one thing that a lot of us are scared to do: take chances and make mistakes. I've learned that the greater the risk, the reward is on another level, because a lot of us, we take the safe way out. I think another thing that ties to this is learning to find the things you love and invest in that. Because a lot of times we tend to do things the easy way, what's easy, instead of doing what we love. Because just like you guys, you're doing what you love. And nothing can sway you from that. I do what I love. If it's hard, I'm gonna get up and do it anyway, because I love it. I'll travel 7 days a week and play music. Because that's what I love. I'll do 100 parties, 100 events, because that's what I love. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. There's days where I'm standing up sleeping. But guess what? I wouldn't give this life up for nothing. Because I love it. Taxes? I ain't gonna lie, I hate doing taxes. Real talk. Because my partner, he goes to the hospital for his blood pressure being high every year from doing toxins because it's stressful.
Oh, yeah.
Not what we enjoy doing. So you see both sides of that spectrum.
Yeah.
What's something you love compared to something you just do because you're trying to make a living.
And you wouldn't know unless you did it and tried it.
Exactly. So you just do things. And one last thing I gotta say to this, for people who are trying to figure it out, to figure out what you want to do with your life, go out and try things.
Yeah.
You know, don't wait for it to fall in your lap. Whatever comes the easiest to you, try to go in that direction.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you can't go without thinking about when you wake up in the morning, go in that direction.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we're trying to see another person doing it, and then we're trying to do what they do.
And it's,
It's already done.
Don't do that. Everything you do, you can make money from.
Yeah.
If it's talking, you can make money from it.
That's
You know, whatever it is you decide. Like if you're in a room and you're able to connect people to each other, that may be your talent.
Yeah.
Just to connect people. So you never know.
Right.
So guys, I know I'm going a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Well, how do you guys feel about that quote?
The shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
I don't like having regrets.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I want to make sure that I experience life. This is how we lived our life. This is how we met. We were traveling. Our son travels. We go everywhere. So we don't want to miss those life experiences. So being in that box that you're talking about, that room, and somebody taking care of, nah, man.
Yeah.
That's not.
Right.
That's too easy.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you won't learn anything. I want to be able to have those experiences and move and become better.
I'm always on the move.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Tyra's.
I'm always on the move. I'm
Tyra
always
don't
going to
sit.
experience life. My mother used to say, "Oh, why are you always doing that? But you don't have to do that." I used to live in Paris. I used to live in Jamaica. Wherever I want to do, I just do it.
I love that about you, Tyra.
I just do it. I don't really. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, but if you don't do something, then you don't have that experience.
Somebody told, I was watching another video again where we was talking about telling somebody that you're gonna die next week. And then
what would they do?
They start to do everything
That they
wanted to do when they realize they're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now all you're doing is the things you actually want to do.
Which you should have did anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm living like that person now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's next?
What's next? Yeah, we do it all the time.
So we worry about a lot about the how we're gonna pay for it, or how we're gonna do this. Like, let me be honest for a little second. So when I left my job in February of 2020. COVID hit March.
Okay.
I got no damn job. You know, all of these plans that I had was on hold.
Yeah.
And she could tell you, I started a juice bar in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And that carried me right through. And then right up to the point we start doing parties and we start playing music again and we got back into the groove. I'm like, if I could survive those months without doing nothing. I could literally survive without a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
You know, so I implore people, like, you will struggle a little bit, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, so go do the thing that God put inside of you
To do.
That's good. I like that. Yes.
All right, Stretch, take us out.
All right, guys. I want to thank our beautiful guests for coming through.
Yes.
And this is the Student to Life podcast, where learning and unlearning has no limits. Don't forget, send it to your friends, subscribe, share, leave comments. Let's have conversations. I want to hear where everybody's mind is at. And don't forget, it's each and every Tuesday we're dropping an episode. So set your notifications on alert. Make sure your alerts are on so when an episode drops, you get it to your phone. And we will see you guys next time right here on the Student to Life podcast.
Bye, guys. See you later.